All right, let's put this to the test. Here's an example. Given that the tangent of theta, some angle, is negative 5/4, and the cosine of that same angle is greater than 0, or positive, I want you to figure out what the sine of theta is and what the secant of theta is. Okay? Normally, if we were given this type of problem, we could just rip a triangle on our page. We could fill out what the tangent is, the sides, do the Pythagorean theorem to get the other side, and then answer whatever questions on sine and secant we need to answer. But now that we have the full circle and we have all these different quadrants to contend with, I don't know where to put that triangle. Okay? So far, all it's given me is that tangent is negative. From our handy-dandy little visual aid up here, tangent is actually negative in 2 different quadrants. I could draw a triangle over here in quadrant 2, or I could draw a triangle over here in quadrant 4. So I can't have 2 different answers. I got to know which one. That's why they gave us this other piece of information. They're telling us cosine is positive. So tangent is negative, cosine is positive. What quadrant are we talking about? The answer? Quadrant 4. Okay. Now that I know I'm going in quadrant 4, I can put my triangle there. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So the opposite side, negative 5. The adjacent side, 4. With a little Pythagorean theorem, we get the square root of 41. Now we can go do our SOHCAHTOA stuff. I'm looking for the sine of theta, and I'm looking for the secant of theta. Okay, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. With a little bit of rationalizing, that would give me this. Negative 5 over root 41, rationalize, negative 5 root 41 over 41. To find the secant, be careful here, secant is actually the reciprocal of cosine. So it's not adjacent over hypotenuse, it's hypotenuse over adjacent. Hypotenuse over adjacent, that's going to give me root 41 over 4. Okay, to finish these notes up, I have 2 more questions for you. Without a calculator, part of your test will be able to do this without a calculator, so get used to it. Evaluate the cosine of 4 pi over 3. And evaluate the tangent of negative 210 degrees without a calculator. Make it happen. Okay, so we're coming back. I want the cosine of 4 pi over 3. Well, to figure that out, I need to draw a picture. And to draw a picture, I need to know where to put 4 pi over 3. That's why we did all that practice we did with all those angles. I have to know what quadrant that's in so I can figure all this out. So 4 pi over 3. From here all the way over is 3 pi's over 3. So then I just need to go one more. 4 pi over 3 would be right here. From this little dot, I can either go up or down. Down doesn't make sense. I'll never get a triangle. Up makes sense. There's my right triangle. And now I need to fill it in. Okay, here's where we can do a little trick with our reference angle. The angle we're talking about is this angle. The reference angle that I want to deal with in this right triangle is that little one. What angle is this? Okay, I'm going to ignore the 4 for a second and just look at the pi over 3 part. That will always tell me my reference angle. So 4 pi over 3, pi over 3 is 60 degrees. That makes this reference angle down here a 60-degree angle. If that's a 60-degree angle, I'll have 1, 2, square root of 3 from those triangles I asked you to memorize. This is negative and this is negative because of the quadrant I'm in to the left and down. Now I can just find cosine. Cosine is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. It's negative 1/2, and we're dancing. Next one, tangent, negative 210. You got to know where to put negative 210. Well, negative means go in the opposite direction, 210. This is negative 180. This would be negative 210. Up or down again, that has to be down to get my right triangle. What angle are we talking about here? From here to here is 180. If I keep going to 210, that's 30 more degrees. Across from the 31, hypotenuse 2, the other side square root of 3. Because I went to the left, this is negative, but I went up, so the 1 is positive. Now notice, we don't have to turn this into a unit circle problem by dividing all these by 2. We can do that, and we have those definitions for the unit circle. Sine is the y, cosine is the x, tangent is y over x. But it's the same 30 degrees, whether it's a shrunk down version or a bigger version. And I remember SOHCAHTOA well. I like SOHCAHTOA. So I don't need to shrink this down. From here, I'm going to do SOHCAHTOA. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, negative 1 over root 3. We rationalize, and we're good. Those are answers. Okay. Here's your guys' next stamp, and the last stamp for this section before our test, page 399, 1 through 39, every other odd, 81 and 83. We will be testing on this stuff coming around the corner, so we'll start reviewing. But your stamps will all be due when we test. There should be 4 of them. They'll be worth 20 points worth of homework grades, so make sure you have all those stamps done and a stamp on them. And we are moving on. See ya.